when you speak about what you had to endure and how things have changed for the better here for the women today, I get the sense though that is the struggle really ever over though for women's cricket? Because even during this tournament, when they stumbled a few games, the tournament is not over. The qualification is still open. You still had people coming out with knives, trolling. When will that mindset change, Mithali?
Well, see, I don't think so. Criticism will ever die because, see, to be very honest, the men cricketers also get trolled. Yes, but for the long time, the criticism was surrounded with their planning strategy, with the game. It's related
Yes.
to the game. And when we failed, it was more to do with our gender, that we were
Yeah.
playing a sport and we don't deserve. I think that probably will change after this World Cup. Maybe criticism will always be there. Where there is praise for you, there'll always be criticism. That's the two sides of the coin.
Yes.
But the criticism now will probably be surrounding the game. Where the girls have faltered or what the plan or strategy should have been with the tactical changes and all that. So probably going forward or post this World Cup, that's what I would say. I would see that change in terms of the criticism or the trolls that you say.
Yeah, hopefully that will change. But, I want to just take a few more thoughts from you before we wrap up. It's not too often that we speak to a legendary captain such as you. Harmanpreet Kaur, capping off this year with a World Cup, it doesn't get bigger than that. But there are already talks of her having to step back and hand over the baton to someone like a Smriti when there's a World Cup to be celebrated. Where do you stand on something like this? Shouldn't a player of her caliber know exactly when to exit and be given the right to exit?
Well, see, I think it's not an appropriate time to sort of
Yeah,
talk about captaincy because we've still not finished a week into
exactly.
winning a World Cup. So that is a call. Let's keep it for the later. I
Yes,
think for how she's led the side along with Amol Mazumdar, the coach, and
yes,
how the girls have responded as a cohesive unit in the World Cup. I think we should be celebrating that.
yes.
Of course, there will come a time in terms of taking a call in these things, and you have a committee in place, you have the selectors in place, and the BCCI to take the call. But for someone like me who's seen the team do well,
Yeah.
I would rather sort of still be in that moment of telling myself that India has won the World Cup, and I've always said that finally I get to see India engraved on the
Yeah.
trophy, where it's always been Australia, New Zealand, and England. We have a fourth nation, India, there.
Yes, absolutely. The moment couldn't have been a more prouder one for all of us here, Mithali, and you were part of making this happen. A final word before, of course, we let you go. We have to ask you about the inevitable question. It seems a little cliched, but we've got to ask it because there has to be thought towards it. The gap between Indian male cricketers and Indian female cricketers is still wide when it comes to a lot of other factors. Of course, we're
hmm
not speaking of skill and talent and competition. It's more to do with the periphery that involves around it, whether it's exposure, whether it's attention, whether it's commercial viability. When is that going to reduce, or how do you see that process?
See, I'm not a big believer in comparisons, and
Fair enough.
I also feel that men's cricket had its own journey, own
Yeah.
growth at its own pace, and we are having our own women's cricket journey and the evolution of the sport. They're two very different journeys, and to sort of compare or ask to say that when will women's cricket reach that level? In terms of standard, we are getting there, and
Yes.
it is faster because this World Cup has seen 300 plus totals being posted and chased, which you are seeing in men's cricket. So I'm happy. From moving forward, I think it will only sort of bolster the growth more faster.
Yeah.
In terms of the commercials, that's again, it's based on advertisement and visibility in how the
Thought
agencies
changes.
work in promoting
Yeah.
the players and their profile. But when it comes to yeah, I remember one of the journalists saying that on one of the shows about the girls got the prize money by BCCI lesser than the boys. I think rather than talking about what is less, we should all be at the moment talking about what the girls and the team and women's cricket have achieved.
Yeah.
Because in thinking what is less, we are diluting the occasion, the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
which we should be savoring. Because it will move on. We have to move on from here. There is a WPL season to come in Jan. There is a T20 World Cup to come next year. The team also has to prepare. So while it lasts, let's enjoy this, and then there will be there will be steps taken forward, and steps are being taken. It might be a little slow. It might be just one step or two step at a time, but it is moving forward. It's not stagnated. So when in 2017, when we were finalists, BCCI did give us a prize money. Like, they've announced. I don't know if the men got a prize money when they were a finalist in the ODI World Cup. I don't remember. So I've never seen them talk about, you've given the women this, why you haven't. So why should we always be looked as victims? I mean, not every
Absolutely.
time. It's
Fair.
not cool to all the time keep asking. Let's The girls have done so well. I think we should build on this. We should build on the momentum and see that how this team and how this momentum can be continued, and India consistently at the ICC tournaments is able to sort of reach the finals and get across the rope, and how they can be that invincible India that we, for so often in the past, we spoke about the Australian side. I
Yeah.
would like people to talk about the Indian team like that,
Yeah.
and that should be our focus. And yes,
Absolutely.
for that, for the prize money, for everything, we have BCCI, we have committees in place for that, and they will take the call.
Absolutely, and I love the sense of optimism here, Mithali. I think that's the only way in which you can cut through something that is something that we have had to work against, and it's women in all walks of life across all fields. So I get the optimism, and I get where you're coming from. But here's hoping that this is just the start of just the uphill trajectory. Of course, we are always going to be fighting against the grain, but we'll do it with a smile. But thank you so much, Mithali. Always a pleasure speaking to you. And here's hoping that we have more such conversations
Yeah.
and have more things to celebrate.
Thank you, Rupa.